Tier 1, you have 2 wide receivers in Tier 1, and this is the explosive wide receiver 1 tier.
Yes, sir.
That's what we're calling this. Explosive wide receiver 1. Can take the ball, change a game. This guy could be your hero in a game.
Right.
So your number 1 wide receiver in the 2024 draft wide receiver rankings for Chris Simms is
Malik Neighbors from LSU. Malik Neighbors is an incredible wide receiver. I mean, here would be my base headline of Malik Neighbors. I mean, best route runner, best explosion and speed, best yak, right? The dude is a star, right? And he could be the best Z, the best X, or the best slot jitterbug in the draft, right? There's no weakness to Malik Neighbors. The only thing you can go is I wish he was 6'3", like some of the other guys, right? That's the only thing. But again, he's 6 foot, he's 200 pounds, right? And he's along the guys of like what I talk about all the time. He's Jamar Chase-ish coming out, DJ Moore-ish coming out, right? Can catch a slant and go for 70, can go, oh, you want to press me and play bump man-to-man, see you later, I'm out of here. I'm going to throw a bomb they're going to throw a bomb to me for 70, right? Or I can run an intricate, like, post corner post or just a normal post corner and run it like a high level NFL football player. That's where it starts. But has that body, Ahmed, what I talk about sometimes of like a receiver kind of in a running back's body, right? Like almost a Tony Pollard type build, a little taller, right? But it's got some muscle to him. Able to take contact at the line of scrimmage, able to take contact down the field and not be affected by it. Might be running a 20-yard out route, right? Guys kind of bumping on him or pulling on his shoulder, right? Because he's afraid he's about to pull away from him. It doesn't really affect him. So he plays with all that. But when you talk again about the things that I love, twitchy as hell, acceleration, out of this world, Jamar Chase type of stuff, except a better route runner than Jamar Chase was coming out of college, right? That's where I was absolutely blown away.
One potential negative that PFF pointed out or noted was that he can stand to be a little more aggressive at the catch point, fewer body catches there. Playing physical at 6 foot, 200 pounds, I guess, is kind of like your similar point here too. He can stand to those contested 50-50 balls.
Yeah, right. There's going to be some of those that, some of the other big receivers probably having an advantage of them. But for a guy that's 6 foot, there's a number of plays where you go, damn, that was wow. I mean, that was a good job, right? The DB was kind of all over him. The quarterback put it in a spot, and he knew how to play it, use his body the right way, grab it that way. The hands thing, I really love his hands. His ability to track the deep ball or do anything like that is phenomenal, right? I think the one thing they're probably talking about is, being a little bit more, as I talk about, snatch the ball out of the air, right? That's to me, it's sometimes he can do this, right? Instead of just being like, before the ball gets there, just grab it with your hands and rip it out of the air so you can run. And, if you are getting hit in the back, it quickens it up by a thousandth of a second, whatever, and takes away that boom, boom, knock the ball out type of play.
Number 2 wide receiver in this year's draft class is...
We're staying at LSU.
Oh, my.
It's Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU. Yes. I mean, where do I start? First off, has the size and look that you would expect from a guy that's top 10, top 12 in the draft conversation, right? I think that's where it starts. But then after that, when you get into, the look of the player, the body, I mean, it's a specimen, right? He's got a look of A.J. Brown to him and me. And maybe not quite as thick as A.J. Brown, right? But a similar look and maybe even a hair more of a speed look. Right off the bat, right? The speed is elite. It's legit every bit to what his combine numbers say, 4.33, right? With, I believe it was, a 1.50, 10-yard split. All that matches up, everybody. He is every bit that explosive, if not even more, right? Now, getting off the line of scrimmage, jump cuts, doing any of that, releases are phenomenal, and the ability to get on top of DBs or run by them is as good as anybody in the draft. It might be better than Malik Neighbors, because when he opens up, man, does he cover a lot of ground because of his size, right? After the catch, he's angry. I mean, again, him and Neighbors, to me, where they separate themselves, when they catch the ball, they are looking to score every time. Doesn't matter what it is. I caught a 5-yard route. I think I can make this guy miss and go up the sideline for 70, right? I caught a slant. I think I can run up the middle here and split these safeties and go for 70. That's where they're both different in my ability. So his ability to stack receiver DBs when he gets down the field, the releases are phenomenal. And then for a bigger guy that's 6'3", 209 pounds, right, and can run the way he can, one, knows how to change speed, but two, really can stick his foot in the ground and cut. Right? It's not like Malik Neighbors, because Malik Neighbors is like put it on a reel type stuff at times, right? This guy, though, still, for the bigger receivers that we're talking about and this explosive type of guy, man, he has still got the ability to be a great route runner. The intermediate route stuff, gosh, I had no problem with it. Again, it might have not been textbook out of the book, but I didn't look at it and go, oh, wow, he really had a, or take a lot of extra steps to break in on the 20-yard in cut. None of that. Maybe some of it could have been a little bit more precise, but yeah, at times I think they just roll it in there and go, get in there and get in the spot where he can find you and throw the football. I see plenty of ability in that department.
So that's your tier 1.
Yeah.
Tier 1 is closed.
Yeah.
Those were your explosive wide receiver ones. Tier 2, there's just one man in tier 2. And the title to this one is No Bust NFL Ready.
Yeah.
So this guy is ready to go. Bust potential very low. But for you, tier 2, that wide receiver is
Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think he is the physical, beast or freak that the other two guys are on the explosive aspect of the position, right?
Are you talking about speed here? Or?
Yeah, speed, ability to get off the ball and accelerate and get on top of DBs right away, right? It's not bad. Again, don't get me wrong. He can do it, but he can't do it at the consistency and the success level Neighbors or Brian Thomas can. Like Brian Thomas and Neighbors, if it's man-to-man, it was like, if they got a go route, they're going to run by the guy and it's going to be a touchdown, right? It wasn't like, oh, he might get by. Marvin Harrison, so much good, but with stuff like that, there was plenty of plays where it was like, well, now he's not going to get around this guy, and he knows it. He's not even going to try, right? His speed is of not that caliber, but it's still good speed. And, of course, the size is awesome. His ability to catch the ball and get up the field is really impressive. I mean, it's like seamless. He doesn't waste a second, right? He's got good size. He plays with really good play strength, right? He knows how to use his size to his advantage, right? Talking about the adjusting to balls, boxing people out, go routes, shielding them off, doing all of that, right? He wins almost every physical battle as far as 50-50 jump balls or even like DBs that are PIing him or holding him down the field. He fights through it and still gets awesome. He's got tremendous body control, which leads into what we're talking about, the 50-50 jump balls. It's incredible. I mean, it really is. And then, hey, where he's got an advantage over a guy like Brian, so I don't think he's as physically gifted at running the routes as Brian Thomas, right? I don't think he can explode out. I don't think he can break down. I don't think he can cut at as precise level as Brian Thomas can, right? So just as a route runner that way, I like Brian Thomas more. But I do think he's a better nuanced route runner. And what I mean by that is this. One, he knows how to play with the DB and according to how the defense is, right? You always hear me say he knows how to attack leverages, right? So he really knows how to push the DB to a spot, right, according to the route he's running. Ooh, this DB doesn't want me to go this way, so he's really overplaying not to let me go that way. Let me bring him over there even farther, and then as soon as I get him to an uncomfortable spot, boom, I'm going to hit the brakes and come back out, right? That's where he's really good. Or changing the speed of his routes again. Another guy. He's kind of gliding. Oh, he's going to run the deep crossing route. He kind of just going to stride me out and run. And all of a sudden, boom, he hits it real hard and comes back out and breaks out and runs a corner route, right? So that's where he's really good. There's no doubt about it. And he is, I think still got room to be a better route runner. I think that'll happen. And I just think ultimately what it is, and you know me, it's the explosive ability. It's the plays after the catch that are not – well, yes, right, because you're going to go – I know you watched, and you're going to go, they're not on the same level as the other two guys with the ball in his hand.
Now we go into Tier 3. We've got your final two in the top 5 in the same tier. This is high-end skill sets, so high-end skill sets. Your number 4 wide receiver of 2024 is
Rome Odunsi, Washington, right? Love Rome Odunsi, really do. I mean, when you're talking about, great look, size, silky smooth, natural, instinctive wide receiver who is in the conversation for best route runner in the draft, certainly, right? Yeah, that's what you're getting here with Rome Odunsi. I mean, that's really what you're getting. A guy ready like day one. He's ready for the NFL. He can play outside receiver, X or Z. You'd probably want him to play Z more than anything, but he can play X, and with his route running ability, he can be a really effective in the slot type of wide receiver as well. That's where I really like him. But natural, instinctive, and does really everything well, Ahmed. I mean, all the things we've kind of talked about with the other guys, adjusting the balls down the football field, back shoulders, all of that. He's incredible in those areas. The body language and route running, snapping it off, sticking your foot in the ground and being precise, right? Getting out of those breaks and separating from people that way. He's good there too. He can separate coming out of breaks and doing all that. That's where I really love him, right? It's the look is great, right? Has a lot of I don't even know what you want to say, Devontae Adams-ish, right? Type of look and talent to him. Hey, he can run the shallow cross and stick his foot in the ground and get back out and accelerate up to top speed pretty quickly. But top speed is still an issue, right? That's where, again, a little bit like Harrison Jr., and I would say even more so with Rome Odunsi, is there's not enough separation. He's not going to blow by you for a 70-yard bomb, right? He got a lot of chances to catch bombs because they dropped back and everybody went deep, and Penix just was cocked in the ball going which one are you going to take? There's 3 guys deep. I'm going to throw it to one of these guys. So he did that. But it wasn't oh, man, there's guys on him stick like glue, right? And he's now pulling away from him. Oh, it's man-to-man. Watch out. It's not that. And that, to me, again, is the element he's missing in his game compared to the other guys, especially the top 2 guys.
Go to number 5, still in tier number 3 for you, which is in the high-end skill sets tier. Your number 5 wide receiver for 2024 is
Roman Wilson, Michigan. 5'11", 185, 4.39, 152. Change of direction ability is really damn good. I don't know, hey, one of the biggest negatives with him is really just damn, I wish they threw the ball more and gave him more chances, because I just think if he was in one of these other offenses, we'd all go, whoa, he's definitely a first-round pick, right? I mean, really good route runner. All I kept saying, and what I said to you before the show, I kept watching and going, I feel like I'm watching Steve Smith from back in the day. Steve Smith, there's a Stephon Diggs type of vibe I get from the guy overall, right? But again, another guy where, he might not be as thick as Malik Neighbors, but has a body that I like. It's 5'11", 185 at the combine. I think he played in the 190s when he was at Michigan, or at least that's what they led me to believe when I was there in person, right? But route running, it rivals the best in the draft in route running, okay? So he's right there with the Rome Odunsis of the world as far as being able to stick the foot in the ground, bursting out of cuts, right? Being really sharp and precise with stuff like that. And his releases, Neighbors, in fact, is maybe the only one better than Wilson as far as getting off the ball, different ways, doing it that way. I talked about the sticking in the foot in the ground, has inside-outside value. Another guy, too, see, to me, has more outside value than really probably Rome Odunsi, because he can just blow by people.
And there it is.
There it is.
And then there was 5. Chris Simms closes the book on his 2024 NFL Scout Draft rankings.
I like all 5 of these guys. I really do. I think all our first-round picks, and I know I have Marvin Harrison Jr., and he's going to be the one that everybody looks at. I know I have him in tier 2 and his number 3. Those other 2 guys above him are special physical specimens and players too, right? They just didn't get the attention, right? But they are really damn good. And in saying that, Marvin Harrison Jr. is still a top 10 or top 12 or top 15 pick for me. There's no doubt about that. Yo, homies, what's up? I know it's the offseason, but it's never the offseason on Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Me and Ahmed Fareed are going to be here for it all. You know, we got free agency. We're going to break it all down. The draft, the rankings of positions. Of course, we're going to unpack it all. Hit subscribe, get to my free agency reactions, 2024 draft rankings, and more. Thanks again for watching. Peace out, homies. See you soon.